Happy Friday, everybody. This is a live look out from our tower cam, and it has been smoking hot today. We got all the way up to 96 degrees, and we have more heat on the way. So as we look to your weekend, weather plays a role in both Saturday and Sunday. We've got first warns on both days, not because they're total losses and you can't make your plans, but just to highlight each day has something that you probably want to be aware of as you make your plans, and you might want to navigate around that. And we have heat, we have storms. There's an increasing risk for flooding that I see. So I want to get you through all that. What's up, Austin? How you doing? We're going to get to storms this weekend, so hang with me, buddy. We'll get there, and then at the end, if I didn't answer your question, we'll see. Give you some more details. So hope everybody's having a good day, having a good Friday. Let's get to it. Let's show you what we got. All right, so both days over the weekend. First one, Saturday, 92. So not as hot as today, but hot enough, 100 to 105. There are some spotty storms are possible on Saturday, but the main thing is the heat on Saturday. So, if you were to go out in the middle of the day and you and your crew are going to hit the zoo, something like that, as best you could, it might be better to wait until the evening or to go earlier in the day to avoid some of that. That's the idea. All right, then on Sunday, we've got a pretty likely chance for rain and storms. I know you can't see that whole thing because part of the box with my face is covering it up, but there's a likely chance for storms, heavy rain at times, but not a washout. So Sunday's not a total loss, but there will be times where it looks dicey that you'll be able to do anything outside, and you might want to prepare for that. So today, hottest day of the year so far, 96 ties with July 29. So we've hit it before, but we tied it. And the peak heat index up to 110. And this got me thinking. We did this in our weather show. If you ever watch our weather show from 6:30 to 7, Monday through Friday. How humidity, whenever it gets as hot, you want your AC working well. But because it's really humid, your AC may not work that well. And if you're like me, the number one thing that you like least when it comes to weather is heat, because it costs us money. It's expensive. So humidity affects how well our AC works. This is what I mean. So the way an air conditioner works is kind of like the human body. The first thing it needs to do, so whenever we sweat, we have moisture. That moisture on our skin then, if it's not too humid, will evaporate, and evaporation is a cooling process. That's how we cool down, whenever the sweat evaporates. But if it's super duper humid and it's real swampy air, you just sweat, but it doesn't evaporate. The air's got too much moisture in it and it can't take anymore. So ACs kind of work the same way. When it's real humid, they're trying to remove that moisture from the air, and they're going to spend all their energy trying to do that first before they can then cool the air. So that takes a while. What I mean is your AC, whenever it's humid, it's going to run longer. Here, I'm going to get you the full graphic. So it's not cut off by my face. So your AC is going to run longer, and then that means it's going to be less efficient. So it's got to run to get your air to cool down, and that's going to cost you money. Now you're thinking probably, hey, I'll just get a bigger AC. Nope, not a good idea, because what that will do is, it will cool the air down inside your house rather quickly than it shuts down, but it didn't run long enough to pull that moisture out of the air, so inside your house is going to get humid, and you'll feel it. So that doesn't cut the mustard. And the next question is, all right, so when is it going to be less humid? When's it going to be better? It's not. Our humidity stays high all the way through next week. Now, temperatures will come down, so your AC won't need to cool the air as much. So I'm a little joking. It will get better, but the humidity part of it is going to stay high for a while. I found that interesting. I just thought I'd share, and hopefully you did as well. So let's see. Let's get back to it. So I'm watching the radar, and we do have a couple little spotty showers out there now, thunderstorms too. Nothing strong or severe, but they're out there. All right, so we got a good one over here by Leavenworth. So Baser, a little thunderstorm, Lansing, Parkville, you're probably going to get into this. It's trying to crawl its way southeast, so that could even get the north side of the metro. I think it will get the north side of the metro if it holds together. Might even get toward downtown. We'll have to watch that little thunderstorm there. And then going north into St. Joe along I-29. So a little cluster of storms is trying to sweep its way through. It's not much, and once the sun goes down, a lot of that should be wrapping up. So there's a slim chance for a thunderstorm in your area, especially north of KC as we go. I'd say not slim chance, there's a decent chance, depending on where you are. until the sun goes down. But once the sun drops, a lot of these are going to fade out. So here's the bottom line as we go into the weekend, the big things that jump out. Number one is Saturday, where it feels like 105. All right, so it's, again, a hot day, 92. There's your heat index by about 5 p.m. or so. And then Sunday, we told you, is the first one for the storms. 88's the high temperature there. We've got a morning round and then a night round. And this is what I'm talking about with this increasing risk of flooding. So we now have a high risk for our northeastern counties, so like Chillicothe and points north up into Iowa. And the medium risk has expanded, now not just Kansas City, but also to our south. So that's higher and more expansive than it was in previous forecasts, and the rain totals have gone up quite a lot from what we could see. So what this means is the setup is favorable where we could see heavy rain Sunday night into Monday morning. And flash flooding is something we may be dealing with. We need to be watching Sunday night into Monday morning. So, there's a lot happening on Monday. You're back to work. Some of us are back to school even, and you might be checking out for the weekend. This is something that you ought to keep an eye on because it could be kind of nasty. And it's something that we're certainly watching. It's not locked in either. I don't want to make it sound like it's going to happen. It's just a possibility with an increasing risk, and that's also in there for Monday. So Monday, first warn, because what comes in Sunday night spills into Monday morning. That could make for a messy commute. It's cooler. 83 is the high temperature. But Shawnee Mission's back to school. We could have soggy, stormy bus stops. We could have a lot of rain to deal with on, the roads and that kind of stuff. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. So let's go through this. Here's Saturday. Now, Saturday looks kind of like today where KC and north, we have some scattered storms for the early afternoon. They don't last all that long, though. Get into the afternoon and evening. Looks nice and dry. All right, here comes round one for Sunday morning. That's pretty widespread. It's pretty heavy. So Sunday morning, you're heading out to church service. You ought to count on rain. At this point, it looks likely, and it looks like it could be heavy. But, poof, there it goes. You get into your afternoon. Sunday, you can get out and do your thing. Looks all right. Before evening comes back as early as 6, but more likely 7, 8, 9 and into 10 o'clock. That's the heavy one. This is the one that may bring us rounds of rain. We don't know this, but it could bring us rounds of heavy rain through the night on Sunday. If that happens, then we get that flood risk. And this is one of the wetter of our computer forecasts. Notice it's punching out 3, 4, 5 inches of rain just northeast of Kansas City, but that could honestly shift. It could be anywhere. It depends on a number of things, like how the storms Sunday morning play out will determine how the storms Sunday night play out and where they're going to be and how intense they're going to be. So lots of moving pieces here, but that's what we're seeing. I want you to see it too, and it may end up being just everybody's going to get rain. We're going to get rain this weekend, especially Sunday night. Sunday morning and Sunday night look both of them likely, but especially Sunday night. And there's a chance that you get a lot. All right, there's Midwest heating, cooling, and plumbing weather came across the plaza on this Friday night. Let's check these. Here's air quality. Air quality tomorrow is going to be moderate because it's hot. When it's hot and humid, air quality goes down. 88 right now in KC, 93 in Lawrence, a little cooler to the north where we've had some rain. Heat index still 105 in Maryville. My goodness, you guys. You always have the hottest heat index. 103 in Chillicothe, 96 in KC. Here's the evening plan. Yeah, there's a slim chance for a shower or thunderstorm if you're on the north side of the metro, a little higher. Before we drop into we're already in the 80s right now with that little rain coming through, but we're going to be in the 80s for a big chunk of the evening. Saturday morning, low temperatures only down to the upper 70s. We barely get out of the 80s. And the plan for the day, watch for some patchy storms, noon to maybe 4, probably more like 2 or 3, scattered. And a good number of us will not see them, but near and north of KC, you got a shot of them. 92 the high temperature there, and hot, especially along and south of I-70. Some of us will be about 94 degrees or so. All right, now let's get you that 7-day. All right, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'll have first warns. First because of the heat and a few spotty storms Saturday. Then it's the rain that disrupts your day, Sunday morning. And then it's the potential flood risk Sunday night and Monday morning. Monday afternoon should be getting better, 83. better. We'll still have some rain, I think, Monday through a good chunk of the day, but it just won't be flooding type rain. And then 80s, mid-80s, Tuesday, Wednesday, turning drier. Thursday, Friday, business as usual. Upper 80s, that's typical August weather for you. Okay, Austin, I know you're wanting to know about Belton. Is Belton going to see bad storms? You could have some heavy-duty rain. The severe risk is not that high. Over the weekend, for any of us, we do have a level 1 out of 5 severe risk, both Saturday and Sunday. We could have a spot or two that punches out a little bit of damaging wind, some strong wind bursts and like real small cells. The bigger thing is going to be the heavy rain. So watch for that. And that is possible for anywhere in the coverage area. Most likely, KC North and East is where we're going to see the heaviest rain. So it's possible in Belton, but the better chances are more to your northeast. Let's see, what else do we have? Tomorrow, risk for storms on Saturday. Yeah, we could have a few spotty storms, and one or two of them could have a little bit of wind with them. It's not impossible to have a severe thunderstorm warning tomorrow, but your odds in Belton, any one spot, pretty low. So hope that helps out there, pal. All right, guys, that's the update. Be watching Sunday night. We're going to be watching it for you, so stick with us, and we'll keep you posted. Otherwise, have a great weekend and enjoy. It's toward the end of summer, one of the late summer weekends. I know we soak these up, so hope this helps with your plans. Take care. Have a great weekend.